Hey there, guys. This is Sam
And Justin.
at the Survival Review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Evil Dead remake, and
Yes.
this just isn't right.
No.
Horror remakes are not supposed to be good. It's just the pattern. That's
Yes.
the way it is.
And this one is
Quite good.
yes.
But let's get
Pretty
into why.
Hey, I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul!
Swallow this.
Now, if you're not familiar with the original Evil Dead, it's about a group of teenagers that go into a cabin in the woods, and they find the book.
Of the dead.
Yes, the Book of the Dead, or the Necronomicon, or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff goes down, is pretty much the gist of it.
Yes.
Yeah, they unleash some demons in the woods, and they
People
get possessed.
and then just
And a
insanity.
tree, and all kinds of stuff.
It's insane.
Uh,
And
Anywho.
we are both huge
Yes.
Evil Dead fans.
If you watch this channel, there's a good chance that you know, at least I am a huge Evil Dead fan. I don't know if you've mentioned it before. But,
I don't know, I might.
uh,
You might have
but
seen, I might have seen the poster in the background
Yeah.
at one point. That's my poster.
It's a cool poster.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway.
But basically, this one took a slightly different route than the original.
Yes.
First of all, kind of getting into some spoilers. So if you're not, if you don't want spoilers,
I don't know how spoiler should be going.
well, let's save the spoilers till the end. How
Yes.
about? Again, it's a group of teenagers. I'm sure you could have
Mm-hmm.
guessed that going into a cabin in the woods. That's not spoiling anything. And yes, the Necronomicon is in this movie,
Yes.
and that's pretty obvious. You can't have Evil Dead without the Necronomicon. And the Necronomicon in this movie, it's
It's a little bit different.
yeah, it is a bit different.
Yes. There's no crazy face on the cover.
Yeah, no crazy face, which I miss.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
And they do much more with the book.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stuff.
The book is a very big part of the movie.
Whereas in the original, it just unleashes the dead. Like, okay, and that's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's a bigger part in the sequels, I
Yeah,
guess.
I get a little
But,
bit. Not as big as in this one.
Yeah. This one, it was a very important part of the
Mhm.
movie. And we'll get into why in the spoilery parts.
Mm-hmm.
The acting. How did you feel about it? At the beginning of the movie,
No. The acting.
there are, like, the acting...
No.
li-
But
at
I
the
mean, I didn't
beginning-
expect much from the acting. in the
Here's my
first place.
opinion on the act. In the beginning, it's kind of like the exposition. They're trying to get
Yeah,
everybody
so there's
to...
those really bad lines. And the guy's
Exactly.
just like, oh, hey, how's my little sister doing?
Exactly.
So now
It
the
felt
audience
very
knows.
forced, and it just didn't feel natural at all.
No.
Which is kind of like... it's hard to pull that kind of thing off without feeling a bit forced.
Yeah, that like, you know,
Um,
yeah.
But,
I really didn't. I didn't find him that
yeah,
good.
and actually at the beginning I was getting a little bit worried that the acting wasn't going to be good at all, but it actually wasn't as bad. It wasn't terrible
The main
throughout
guy.
the rest of the
main
movie.
guy was kind of bland.
Yeah, he was
bland.
not great, but
He was just kind of bland.
for the most part,
I like how they actually kind of felt like regular people. They weren't like the stereotypical kind of people you expect.
Yeah.
Like Cabin in the Woods played off of. It's not just like that. They felt more like regular people. They're
Yeah.
still kind of bland, but they felt more real.
yeah, and each of them, like, they in the original they didn't go
Yeah, and
into
in the
like,
original they weren't really that great either.
they weren't
so.
either. So I mean, it's not.
So, yeah, it's not too
a
much
big
of a
deal
not-
to not have too much character
It's
development.
not too much of a departure from the
Yeah.
original.
But
Still. And the one thing that everybody says that makes the movie is the gore.
oh, fantastic! It's. I mean, I'm a big fan of gore. We make movies, and I'm usually in charge of
The special effects.
the special effects.
Yes.
So I love seeing what goes
Yes, that would.
into gore effects, and all of this stuff in this movie, or at least 90% of it,
Most of it yeah,
was practical
yes.
effects.
And that was the best.
And it's just awesome. And there are really some moments that'll make you cringe in this movie, even if you're like a big horror fan. There are parts where you'll go, "That's disgusting."
My biggest problem is that most of the great stuff in the movie was shown in the trailer.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
so if you for some reason like haven't seen the Red Band trailer, then don't watch it.
don't watch the Red Band trailer if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, because all like most of the really great moments are shown in that trailer.
Yeah.
So like that, I kind of ruined the surprise, but it was still crazy.
Yeah. And
it wasn't that surprising, but
shall we get into some spoilers?
not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. I still say, kind of some of my problems with the movie. I didn't think it was great at all. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was very good, very good. But I felt that it wasn't as insane. I kind of felt like, oh, here's the scene where they fight this Deadite, and then next thing is that. Whereas like in the original Evil Dead, it was just insanity, and there weren't as many kind of like surreal-ish moments. It was more just like, oh, here's Deadite, oh, they're gonna cut off their arm, or oh, really gross thing. And I felt there could have been a little bit more done.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel like a Sam Raimi film.
Yeah, and I don't mean
part.
it didn't have to feel like a
No,
Sam
it
Raimi
didn't,
film, but it just
but
felt like
there were some parts that definitely felt Sam Raimi-esque.
some throwbacks,
but
throwbacks. But like, I just didn't like how yeah, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't as insane. It was kind of just like not by the numbers, but like you can tell this scene is the scene where they do this, where they fight off this one, and it didn't feel as like there wasn't really tension or at all. It was mostly just like a lot of great effects, which is fun, but it just
it was very.
There's
cool,
no like
very
tension and not much of that.
Yeah.
And I felt I just felt like the Deadites, they weren't as good as the original. Like
There were some lines that they said, like, there's one line that one of them said that it was funny in the theater, but it just doesn't feel like something a Deadite would say.
Yeah.
We'll mention that.
Yeah, and there weren't as many like crazy moments, and like one thing I felt weird. I don't know if this is kind of spoilers, but not really. The big like Deadite they fight at the end of the movie, I thought that was just kind of random. Like it felt weird, and the one scene.
But it was an epic scene.
Yeah, but it just felt like really like I thought it was spoiling too much like what it is.
Yeah.
It just felt weird, and another thing, the part I always thought was weird is when the first girl gets attacked in the woods.
Yes.
She keeps seeing like this other like I guess it's a Deadite, like that kind of like dead girl. And I just thought that was weird that they kept showing that.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like the forces in the woods. It felt like it was like her spirit or something.
Yeah. It
like if you're not familiar with Evil Dead, you think like, oh, she's the one doing this? Yeah. Like the scenes where the forest is like chasing after her, like in the original. You think like, oh, the point of view is of that girl, zombie Deadite that's running.
But like
I thought that was weird. They kept
it's
cutting
just
back.
like you have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
Like chasing after.
I mean, I think it's still what they meant, but it felt like it would have been that. I thought that was weird.
Yeah. And
but
overall,
for the most part, like
overall, I really enjoyed
fun,
the movie.
yeah.
It was a fun
movie
time.
Was funnier than I expected.
Yeah, there were definitely some funny moments.
Everybody was saying about how serious it is.
Yeah.
And it is more serious than the original 3, but there's still funny moments. I'm not sure if they're particularly like intentionally funny.
Yeah.
Some of them might have been like, oh, that character does something really stupid, so let's laugh at it. But there's some great like funny. It was a fun movie. I like to say it was fun, a little disturbing, but fun.
Yeah.
They show so strange we are, but
and I loved it. So
I didn't love it, but I really liked it.
I'd say I loved it just for the experience. Now, would I call it a perfect movie? By no means. But
no, it was a fun experience.
For what it was, I really did.
Because you don't see
quite a bit.
movies like this anymore in theaters. These like insanely gory.
Yeah. Especially with practical effects. If there is a lot of gore in a movie, it's almost always just CG and stupid crap like that.
But, like, you don't see these type of movies every day. So, like, I think it was. The best part was the experience of seeing it.
Exactly.
I just can't see myself rewatching it as much as the original.
No, not as much as the originals, but I definitely would like to watch it a few more times.
Yeah, but it'd be like an occasional watch. It wouldn't be as often as the original 3. So, do I just do out of 10 right now, and then talk about spoilers?
All right. Well, out of 10, I'm going to give it a pretty high number. I'm going to give it like a good 9 out of 10. Which, now, that might sound pretty high for a remake of a horror movie, but I'm saying 9 out of 10 for the experience.
Yes.
It's not a 9 out of 10 film on its own. Just a fun experience. If you're an Evil Dead fan, it's a lot of fun to watch.
You'll have a good time with it.
And that's why I give it a 9 out of 10.
I'd give it just a little bit lower. I'd give it 8.5.
Alright.
Because I still think that was really strong, it was really good, but I couldn't get it completely to 9, but I still give it a high rating. Because like I said, it was such a fun movie. Yeah.
And now I guess we'll get into the spoilers.
Yeah, get some spoilers. This is for like,
alright, so
you've already seen the movie and you're an Evil Dead fan, you want to like discuss it.
Get our opinions on it, and you can leave a comment and let us know how you feel.
Or if you just don't care, then you watch this part.
Exactly.
Which, then, shame on you. See the movie.
I know. Just see the movie. If you haven't seen the movie yet, don't watch this part, please.
Yeah. Just see the movie. Stop the video now and go to the theater.
Yeah, just go to the theater. Anyway,
Anyway.
First thing we'll get into is some of the fun little Easter eggs they threw in. First of all, I don't know if anyone noticed this. Me and him both noticed it in the theaters. What Mia was sitting on during a conversation. She's actually sitting on the car from the original Evil Dead.
It's a car that Sam Raimi puts in like every one of his movies.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
And
the necklace she gets is reminiscent of the original necklace.
Yeah, that was interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned this to me. This poster right here.
Yeah, there's artwork similar to that in the Book of the Dead. A couple of scenes. It's an image like that.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that myself, but
yeah. And they actually used some of the original audio from the first film.
Yeah.
The recording that like the archaeologist recorded that sometimes like it plays over the end credits, which is awesome.
that was pretty sweet.
But like they play it sometimes. Like there's one scene where the guy's reading how to kill him. And it says like, oh, bodily dismemberment, and that line that the guy says echoes in the background, the actual original recording. And I noticed that during the movie, but I didn't know if that was like re-recorded or not. But in the end credits, it says like original dialogue from the original Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
And let's see. Let's get into about the Necronomicon in this movie and the role it played.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot more important, as we mentioned, in this movie than it was in the originals.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the way they used it because each page had like a different piece of art. It was almost like a prophecy of what happens when there's possession, and like each picture that's drawn out in the book actually happens to them in the cabin. Like when there's a picture of someone boiling water over themselves. She actually goes into the shower and puts it up to the highest heat, and it boils her skin. And it's all like prophesized, and it's really cool to see that kind of thing, and how the guy with the glasses, I can't remember his name.
No, I don't remember him.
The only people I know are David and Mia.
Yeah, the two main people.
And it was really cool to see how they used the Necronomicon in it. I liked it when he tried to burn the Necronomicon. And the book just wouldn't burn.
Which is different than the original.
Yeah.
He just burns it, that's how it ends.
Exactly.
But, yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, which is not a spoiler, but I forgot to mention earlier, I like how, at the beginning of the movie, they had a good excuse not to leave the cabin. Because the girl is a drug addict, and they're trying to get her to... It's like,
that was a very cool way to play it, because they weren't just a group of teenagers going there to have fun. Yeah. They had a reason.
Yeah, and the best part is like she'd be like, "Oh, something in the woods, we gotta get out of here." Like, "Oh, she's suffering from withdrawal."
Exactly, and I thought that was
smart.
That was a pretty smart, creative way to change it up a little bit, and I enjoyed that.
Rather than just being like, "Nah, it's okay, we'll stay."
Exactly.
That'd be cheap. Like, so I thought that was a cool way to handle it.
And there were some Sam Raimi-esque moments, like of course, the chases in the woods. Those definitely felt similar to the original, and it was nice to see those. But one line, and I'm not going to actually say the line because this is a family channel, but if you saw the movie, which if you're watching this you probably did, when the sister has her brother, she says something to the brother that just did not feel like what a Deadite would say.
Are you saying the kind of Exorcist line?
Yes. There was a similar to the Exorcist.
I know that too. I'm like, that's just way too Exorcist.
Yes. It was funny. People in the theater were laughing, but I would have preferred if it wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't. It just it didn't really feel right.
Yeah, but that's my opinion. Other people might have liked it. I don't know.
Like I said, it was funny when you saw it, but when you think back on it, like,
it doesn't fit.
No, it doesn't.
And
there wasn't enough like taunting.
No, there wasn't. Actually, there were some moments that were changed from the trailer in the movie, like when she's cutting her hand off with the the meat trimmer. In the trailer, she was saying, "Cut it," but in the movie, she's telling her, "Don't cut it." Just
Or there's one part, which is in like all the commercials, where the Mia Deadeye's in the cellar and she's like singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not in the movie. That was a great part. But
yeah, and wasn't there? I was having a conversation with people in a live stream about this last night. Wasn't there a part where David.
Yeah, he has a
took a
chainsaw. Yeah, there's this part in the trailer where he has a chainsaw.
Yeah.
It looks almost like the final shot with me with the chainsaw and blood rushing. It's almost like that, but I don't know.
And
I'm
speaking
thinking,
of the final shot.
well, actually, can I get back in a second? I have a question. What happened to the blonde girl? Cause she turned did she turn good or was she just like messing with them? That's what I thought it was, but they just never looked back on that. Again, you know what I mean?
I can't quite remember that.
As some people were speculating that maybe that scene of David with the chainsaw is him like dismembering her. Maybe they had to cut it out to get the R or something. That's a rumor though. It's not true. I don't know if it's true, but
yeah. Because wasn't this rated?
It was NC-17.
Yeah.
They had to cut it down.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But like I was just wondering, I don't know what they didn't explain what happened to her. Like, you know what I mean though? Because I remember she started to turn she turned good, which I don't know if it was just like them messing.
Yeah.
Remember that? So they never after that scene she was never in the movie again. So like, yeah.
Whatever.
That's the thing I was talking about, the deadite at the end. That was like,
yes.
I was like, oh, I don't know what it was. That's
the
one thing.
They mentioned it in the book.
I don't remember, but
they were talking about the book, and there was a picture of like this creature coming out from the ground, and they said once 5 souls are taken.
I thought, I thought it was supposed to be like much bigger.
Yeah, so did I, but it was just like a regular person-sized thing. I thought it was going to be bigger, but it.
So it felt weird.
Yeah. And actually, you seemed kind of confused about it, and the kid next to me, like Uriel, he was with us, and he kind of nudged me. He's like, "Who is that?"
That's what I was thinking too. It was just like.
But I understood who it was.
I thought it was just weird. But
but that scene with that creature was just awesome.
Yes.
It was so intense and just creepy. And when she started walking into that little tunnel that the dog was in earlier, that leads to the shed, I'm like, she's gonna get the chainsaw. She's gonna get the chainsaw. Oh my god! And
that was awesome.
When she got it, and it started raining blood, and I just start thinking of Slayer. It was just an awesome experience, and I absolutely loved it. And
stay after the credits.
Stay after the credits. If you haven't stayed after the credits, should we say what happens?
No.
No, we're not going to say what happens.
Stay after.
Just stay after the credits.
It's cool.
It's so cool.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all we have to say about the movie.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Probably one of the most surprising movies.
Yeah, it was very.
I just remember last year just being like, oh god, Evil Dead.
I can't believe him. That's what our thoughts were. Like, we can't.
I showed him the trailer. I showed him the week trailer, and he's like, fine, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
God. And we're watching. He's like, oh, it's all right. And I'm just like, he just like did
and
not.
then I saw the Red Band trailer, and I'm like, oh, crap. This looks good.
Him actually, he watched it over the phone while talking to me. All I can hear is him on the other line. Oh god. Oh whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was awesome.
That was great.
And definitely one of the best movie experiences I've had in a while.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Check it out.
Check it out, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.